quantum key distribution system.
अभी मैं इसको खाली देख रही हूँ cover and switch
get inside laptops, mobile phones, and devices.
Use cases maximum किसमें होगा?
IoT devices. Sir, what is happening is data is moving from cloud to edge.
All our VCs and all that stuff.
and data cannot be measured. So whatever has happened, and there is no trace of it possible. So I am just looking at it from the criminal lawyer's point of view, that with encryption, the key bits, and other things, so many other ways of getting back. This will be like,
Ma'am, you're right. If it gets into the hand of wrong people,
yeah,
then they can actually build
how
an
do we ensure?
So that's the reason, ma'am, what we do, for example, if the two boxes are there, they're pre-paired, which means that if anybody takes my one box, steals this one box, he cannot do anything. Even if he buys the one box from outside somebody and he brings in to put it in the network,
So this one has to be totally regulated.
so it's regulated. Ma'am, we are also building quantum secure applications. That we are building WhatsApp. We just built a WhatsApp end-to-end quantum secure.
But even today, what happens? You can encrypt the conversation and send it on the telecom network. Nobody can copy it.
So what happens?
Because WhatsApp is like that.
No, but we understand physics a little bit, not like that. My reading would be that WhatsApp, if there is an encryption, will not be and you know, you can also, you just need to know the point of decryption. Now, in this case, even there is no decryption. So
So what happens?
Quantum shape
The version is more
that is why
but it is exclusive. That only two keys are working and no third can be.
Honorable dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Minister of Communication, Railways, Electronics and IT, Shri Ashwini, Madam Meenakashi, Lekhi, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Minister of State for Culture. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Minister of Communications, Shri Vaishnaw, Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Shrimati Meenakashi, all officials from Department of Telecom, Ministry of External Affairs, eminent dignitaries from industry and from media, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste and good evening to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all today. I welcome and extend my special thanks to the Honorable Minister of Communication, under the guidance of whom we have been able to formulate and announce a new set of policy reforms in wireless licensing and satellite communications. I also welcome and extend my sincere thanks to the Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and Culture, Shri Meenakashi, for guiding us to victory in the ITU elections. In the past decade, the Government of India has undertaken a number of reforms in the field of ICTs. ICT policies and initiatives of the Government of India are aimed towards digital transformation, inclusive growth, and stimulation of the national economy to meet the Sustainable Development Goals. Today, Honorable Minister of Communication will be releasing documents on the reforms carried out in wireless licensing and satellite communications. Connecting the unconnected and improving ease of doing business is a focus area. The National Frequency Allocation Plan, NFAP 2022, is also being released today and will help streamline frequency planning and allocation in India and aligning the same with the ITU-R radio regulations and facilitate implementation growth of 4G services in the country. It will also provide guidance to the industry in the areas of development of new technology and devices. It also provides a list of de-licensed frequency bands for specific use cases which go on to serve greater public good. Some of the recent de-licensed bands, such as for IoT, M2M, 865 to 868 megahertz, 433 to 434 megahertz, etc., have been outlined. Amongst others, NFAP is also earmarked frequencies for the public protection and disaster relief networks. The adoption of quantum technologies across industries can potentially add more 280 to 310 billion value to the world economy, as per the NASCOM report. The release of quantum key distribution standards of PEC will support this initiative of the Government of India and also work with the industry to actually take the use of technology forward. Lekhi is shown with exceptional qualifications and her presence in RRB will not only be of great value to India but also to the RRB as well and bring in a lot of general balance. India was also re-elected to the ITU Council as a member. We are deeply grateful to Madam Meenakashi Lekhi, Honorable Minister of State, External Affairs and Culture, and the team of officers led by Dr. Indramani Pandey, UNPR, and the NEA officers are working very hard to make this happen. The recent launch of 5G the Prime Minister of India, we have set sight on growing our digital economy. I once again welcome Honorable Minister of Communications and Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs and
come up with various reforms for ease of doing business and for unhindered growth of the sector. To take the process further, we will now be releasing a few booklets on the reforms. We will start with WPC reforms. I would request dignitaries of the dais to unveil Telecom reforms 2022 for wireless licenses and request members. A lot of reforms have been initiated. To collect their copies before leaving for dinner. Now I request our distinguished dignitaries on the dais to unveil booklets on satellite communication reforms and request Member Technology Shri and DoT Satellite Shri Sunil Nirani ji to join. But also provide a very useful and a fortress manner the comprehensive guidelines for setting up a satellite-based network in India. Thank you. Next is unveiling. I request Member Technology Tiwari Sir and Joint Wireless Advisor, Mr. Christopher, to assist the dignitaries unveil the booklet. National Frequency Allocation Plan is a policy document comprising of various frequency bands and the type of the radio service permitted therein. Of any third party trying to be knowledge of the team. Also, there is an exhibition on by DoT. And we are not re-elected for ITU Council for the next 4 years with 160 out of 180 countries voting for India. Which is not only a huge success for the Department of Telecom internationally, but also a great diplomatic achievement for the Government of India. I will take this opportunity to brief the audience that Madam Meenakashi Lekhi has made special efforts to mobilize huge support in these elections from all the countries across the world.
Special round of applause.
I most humbly request Madam Lekhi to felicitate DoT under personal supervision of Secretary West Sanjeev Verma and Shri V.L. Kantarao, Additional Secretary Telecom. Got India re-elected in the ITU Council for next 4 years. And I request Mr. Sakya from IOA to kindly come to the dais, please. First week of this month at Bucharest, Romania. She won with highest majority from India and
Pass on.
Honorable ministers and distinguished guests, very good evening and thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak. I convey my sincere gratitude and thanks to our Honorable Minister of Railways, Communications and IT and Honorable Minister of State for Communications and Honorable Minister of State for External Affairs Minister and Minister of Culture and entire Department of Telecommunications, Minister of External Affairs and Industry for their support and made me to sit in the RRB as the first ever woman candidate from Asia and Australasia. working as RRB member. Then when we come to RRB, what is this RRB? What is the work? What I am going to do there? So I try to say in only 1 minute. The RRB actually deals with satellite spectrum related, regulation related issues. Not only satellite, terrestrial as well. All spectrum related issues and interference resolution between member states, between countries and all. Majority of the RRB issues are related to satellite because they are related to lot of administrations, lot of states. So there will be 12 RRB members, and in the current board there will be 3 women candidates, and all the 3 got highest majority in their regions. They will be deliberating all the issues, come up with the spectrum regulations. So it is very critical for us. And what I see is with the development of these large NGSO constellations and convergence of satellite and terrestrial networks, it will be quite interesting and challenging task before the board because there are regulations that have not been evolved so far. So I think satellite is very close to my heart because I worked in ISRO, I worked from the Spaceport of India, that is Shri before joining this department. So I think I can work, put efforts, and along with that, entire DoT and industry team probably will be contribute more to ITU and will bring back that expertise to India. And another thing, what I have observed during my electioneering process and all, there is a large capability gap in the spectrum regulations related to satellite. We have to encourage it because that expertise. And finally, with my presence in the RRB, probably we can understand internal dynamics of working of the RRB. Hence, we can work towards protecting the interests of the India as well as other developing countries because they are looking towards India, how we are going to help them or make it. With this, again I say,
Minister of State for External Affairs and Minister of State for Culture, Madam Meenakashi, for her special effects. Ma'am.
At home. Ashwini ji, the Cabinet Minister, handling 2 portfolios of railways and IT along with several other charges. Secretary Telecommunications, Rajaramji, present colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I know that this is not my department, but we all work for the same cause. And the cause is the cause of our motherland, Mother India. And when I got this message from our dear friend and a senior colleague like Ashwini Vaishnaw, that this is what the government has proposed and we need support and help from all departments, I was working because I thought that was my job. And my job is to work for my country, to represent my country. And as Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has always told the line and told us all that it has to be whole of government approach. Every department of government has to work for the government because we work for the same cause, and the cause is of Mother India. When I saw, and I always say, please don't mistake me for using a little poor language. My language is poor, so I take notice that when you have a good product, it's easy to sell. Now, reality is not a product, and I was not selling. But definitely, I was seeking votes in her favor, but the product was so good. The choice was fabulous. I must thank Ashwini ji for making that choice and the department for putting the best, not the best man forward, but the best woman forward. And that made the job very interesting for me. And I don't stop saying this to the world, that when it comes to India and Indians, I see happiness on all men's faces who are sitting here in support of a woman colleague. This is what India is. If people talk about gender justice, we do gender justice. And with a lot of respect and credentials. So it is the merit which takes people forward, and we all, women, on behalf of Lekhi, I'm saying this, none of us need any extra support. I mean, support we all need, but none of us need any extra treatment, specialized treatment, but we all need equality at work, equal opportunity to perform. And I'm sure once you give us the opportunity, we perform as well as badly as any other man in our position would. And that's what the beauty of India is, that all men will support that cause, and it is not a wonder that in India, in STEM, we have 48% women as compared to any other country in the world. Nowhere in the world we have this number except India. And whenever I travel outside and people, and I don't stop quoting this figure, I say, in India you keep talking about, I don't know what image of Indian women you have, but we have 48% in STEM. So unless we had the brains and we had the skill, we would be there. The fact we have the skill and we are promoted socially by all, right from our parents to in-laws to husbands to brothers, sisters, everyone, we would reach those places. So our system is pretty much equal, and gender equality works, doesn't exist only in the name, and thus women in STEM itself is a wonder for the world, and that statistic speaks for itself. And they always say, how can we do the same? Some of the developed countries I will purposely not name, they will ask me this question, how can we do the same? And you know what my answer is? Stop judging women on their physical attributes. Start judging women for the qualities they have. So how one looks, what one does, is not worthy of any kind of, what should I say, worth being talked about. So what is being talked about is the quality of the person. The quality of brain and the heart is what we would want to be recognized for. And that's what I speak for most women. And I also remember how people confuse modernity with the way one looks, the way one appears. And this question often is thrown at me. I don't know why, but it comes to me. Some stupid statement by some man about a woman wearing a torn jeans or something like that, and the question will be thrown at me when I'm not even involved in the conversation. And I laugh and I say, my family, my own father-in-law, when my children were growing up, they would be wearing torn jeans, and they are both boys. And the dad was a very modern man, was a very erudite man. He would call the boys, "Phate hue kapde kyun pehne hue?" So they were boys. And phata hua kapda in our tradition is considered not good. So people will have those cultural value systems where you don't wear torn clothes. So sometimes some stupid statement in another sense would have been made. And I would put this question, what according to you is a modern woman? At that time, Mission Mars had happened. So I say, all those women, my size, my age, with veni in their hair, dressed in saris, are modern women for me, because they run our space system. This is what I call modernity, because modernity cannot be judged by how one dresses. The modernity exists in the head, how competent you are, how equal you are, and that's what Revati represents. So it was easy for me, it was an easy sell for me. It was, Ashwini made my job easy. Canvassing comes naturally, because that's the kind of people we are, and I usually tell people, I say, when it comes to approaching people seeking votes in favor of India, don't teach my job, I know my job well, because people who contest against me lose their deposits. That's how good we are. And the basic line goes that we are good because we produce results, and I must bring the entire Ministry of External Affairs, all our ambassadors in the other countries, foreign secretary, the kind of messaging we did at every level. At every level we met up people and stood by the cause of the country, and I'm sure Revati would always know there are 1.3 billion people behind her. So all the decisions she has to take is going to impact their lives, is going to stand India in good place. And also the world needs more fair systems. And those fair systems, if we can participate in the fair systems and bring technology for the general good of the very poorest of the poor people and not very well-heeled people, we would have justified our jobs. And I'm very, very sure Revati stands for all these values, and Ashwini definitely, as my colleague, I can vouch for him, by making a choice in favor of rape, he has already proved his merit that he makes right decisions and right choices. Thank you very much.
Ma'am was saying somebody has to do the work. I said that the department does the work, I just get the credit. So the entire credit goes to the entire department. Great. So my senior colleague, Honorable Minister Mrs. Meenakashi Lekhi ji, she has always been a very wonderful guide, mentor throughout that digital PDP bill committee. I was really impressed by the incisive questions that she can ask. Some of the questions can really take some of the biggest experts on digital technology on one side and Meenakashi ji on other side, and you can see that debate. It's amazing. So very big round of applause for Meenakashi ji for being present. Felt at the top. जब से प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने राष्ट्र की जिम्मेदारी संभाली है, भारत का परचम हर एक क्षेत्र में एक नए मिजाज के साथ, एक नए अंदाज के साथ दुनिया भर में भारत का झंडा सम्मान के साथ लिया जाता है। एक टाइम था आईटीयू में इंडिया है, भारत है, रिप्रेजेंटेशन जाता था, क्या वैल्यू होती थी? समय बदल गया। आज एक ऐसा समय आया है जब आईटीयू के रेगुलेशंस हो, आईपी राइट्स हो, इंडिया क्या डेवलप कर रहा है उसकी बात हो, या ग्लोबल पॉलिसी कैसी बनेगी, उस पॉलिसी में किस तरह की इनपुट्स होने चाहिए, आज हर एक विषय में हिंदुस्तान को पहले पूछा जाता है। आरआरबी के इलेक्शंस जब हुए, बड़ी बॉडी, बड़ी पावरफुल कंट्रीज है दुनिया में, उनकी प्रेजेंस हमेशा रहती थी। इस बार जब देश ने, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि नहीं, अब समय आ गया है जब टेलीकॉम में हिंदुस्तान टेक्नोलॉजी लीडर बन के निकलेगा। समय आ गया है कि जब टेक्नोलॉजी इंपोर्ट करते थे, टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए दूसरों पे डिपेंडेंट रहते थे, वो समय गया। अब समय आ गया कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी एक्सपोर्ट करेंगे, टेक्नोलॉजी में लीडरशिप लेंगे, और रेगुलेशन में हमारा रेगुलेशन ग्लोबल बेंचमार्क बनेगा। जब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये संकल्प दिया, ये विजन दिया, इस तरह के बड़े टारगेट्स दिए, तो उसके परिणाम में, उसके रिजल्ट में आप सब जो कुछ काम देख रहे हो वो सारा का सारा उस संकल्प का परिणाम है। उसी संकल्प के हिस्से में आरआरबी में, आईटीयू के एग्जीक्यूटिव कमिटी के सिलेक्शन में, इलेक्शन में पूरे देश ने जान लगा दी। मैं बहुत विशेष धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर जयशंकर जी को, मिसेस मीनाक्षी लेखी जी को। आप दोनों ने एक एक मिशन में, एक एक हाई कमीशन में, सब जगह अपने ऑफिसर्स को, डिप्लोमेट्स को सीरियस कैंपेनिंग पे लगाया। अभी मैं रिसेंटली G20 की डिजिटल मिनिस्टर्स की मीटिंग में था। Each and every minister was aware that there is a candidature from India. Each and every G20 minister was aware of the biodata profile of Lekhi ji, and they were impressed with the profile of Lekhi ji, and they were so impressed that minister, external affairs ministers, MOS, mission, everybody in the ecosystem is working for one single goal, to get Lekhi ji elected for That is our external affairs ministry. That is the way our ministers work. That is the way Prime Minister Modi ji's team is delivering. भारत का soft power सब जगह महसूस होना चाहिए. And as Honorable Minister also said, Lekhi ji का candidature was a very very outstanding candidature, extremely good credentials, great experience, very deep understanding of the subject. Above all, this is the time when satellite communication is making a big leap. This is the time, अगर इस वक्त में अगर हम लोग अपना thought process, अपना technological prowess, अपना regulation, global regulation में ले आते हैं, then India will always have an advantage. So it was very important कि इस particular election में किसी न किसी तरीके से इंडिया के ही कैंडिडेट्स को इलेक्शन में जीतना चाहिए था. And Lekhi ji won with a record margin. I think that kind of margin we have not seen in the recent times. Out of 173 countries, we got 136 votes. 139 votes. That's a very, very, very good achievement. Great. Excellent. This election, and we are here to celebrate India's soft power being recognized all over the world. But simultaneously, साथ ही साथ आप लोगों को प्रॉमिस किया हुआ था कि बहुत जल्दी कुछ procedural reforms आएंगे. So we thought let's take this opportunity and share the procedural reforms with you. इस बार हम लोगों ने फोकस किया वायरलेस प्रोमोशन WPC यानी वायरलेस फ्रीक्वेंसी एलोकेशन से रिलेटेड मैटर्स पे और सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन के मैटर्स पे. So there are 5 reforms related to satellite communications. First is for all the VSAT terminals, you are aware, अब तक ये होता था कि it can be only static terminal, एक जगह पे fixed रह सकता था, and अगर उसको मोबाइल करना है तो it used to be a very cumbersome process जिसमें किस गाड़ी पे लेके जाओगे, क्या फ्रीक्वेंसीज यूज होगी, एंटीना का टेस्टिंग, एक लंबा चौड़ा प्रोसेस था जो कि ऑलमोस्ट ऑल द मीडिया हाउसेस एंड एवरीबॉडी प्रैक्टिकली यूज्ड टू कंप्लेन अबाउट इट. माउंटेड ऑन एनी व्हीकल एंड विद अ वेरी सिंपल सेम VSAT license, instead of just fixed VSAT terminals, we can have mobile VSAT terminals. So that's the reform number 1. It's a procedural reform. There is no big structural change in it. It's more of a procedural reform. The second is antenna का certification used to be a very complex process. Antenna कैसा है, उसकी क्या-क्या properties है. अभी एक जमाना था जब हर एक एंटीना अपने आप लोग डिजाइन करते थे. There was an element of craftsmanship in antenna design. When we were students of Telecom, एंटीना कौन डिजाइन कर सकता है वो एक आदमी की खासियत होती थी. अब वो जमाना बदल गया. नाउ इट्स ऑल डिजाइन बाय कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम्स एंड वेरी स्पेशलाइज्ड प्रोग्राम्स आर देयर. हाईली स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड एंटीनास आर देयर एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द एंटीनास आर नाउ ऑलरेडी क्लासिफाइड इनटू सर्टेन टाइप्स. ऐसा नहीं है कि 50 अलग-अलग तरह के नए तरह के एंटीनास हो. सो वी आर नाउ इंट्रोड्यूसिंग सेल्फ सर्टिफिकेशन ऑफ एंटीनास. सो फॉर एनी एंटीना you don't have to go through that very long process of certification by the department. You can come with a self-certification and start deploying the antennas. That is the second reform. It's again a procedural reform. Third is the entire NOCC. The entire process of NOCC was again a very cumbersome process. It used to take sometimes months because there were 4 different levels of scrutiny and 4 different levels of approval, wherein जिसको NOCC का अप्रूवल लेना है, कई बार ऐसा होता था कि पहली बार अप्लाई किया, फिर दूसरी बार अप्लाई किया, फिर दूसरे प्रोसेस में अप्रूवल होने के बाद में तीसरी बार अप्लाई किया. बहुत ही कम्बरसम प्रोसेस था. इस प्रोसेस से हम लोग सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन को डीप जो हमारे रिमोट एरियाज है वहाँ तक नहीं पहुँचा सकते. Process has to be simplified. So the entire process is now single stage. It has been reduced to a single stage the fee of 21 lakh rupees per transponder per year is made zero now. So there will be no fee, no complex process. It will be a very simple single stage approval, which will reduce the time from about 8 months to about 6 weeks. Our target is to reduce the process time from about 8 months, it should reduce to 6 weeks. इसके पीछे thought process क्या है? Why we are doing this? We are doing this because मोदी जी का clear संकल्प है, हमें गरीब से गरीब घर में, हमें रिमोट से रिमोट गांव में उतनी ही डिजिटल सर्विसेज, उसी क्वालिटी की डिजिटल सर्विसेज पहुंचानी है जो कि बड़े शहरों में। डिजिटल इंक्लूजन मोदी जी का मिशन, डिजिटल इंक्लूजन प्रधानमंत्री जी का क्लियर पॉलिसी ऑब्जेक्टिव है। जो भी चीज डिजिटल इंक्लूजन के लिए है, जो भी उसके रास्ते में बाधा है, उसको हम दूर करेंगे। ये एक क्लियर मिशन की तरह चलता है। तो आपने अब तक जो भी रिफॉर्म्स देखे हैं या जो भी टेलीकॉम में काम हो रहा है, उसमें दो चीजें, एक तो टेक्नोलॉजी की लीडरशिप लेनी है और दूसरा हर एक रिमोट एरिया तक, झारखंड के गांवों तक, नॉर्थ ईस्ट के गांवों तक, हिमाचल के पहाड़ी एरिया में रहने वाले लोगों तक, जम्मू कश्मीर लेह लद्दाख के एरिया तक, उड़ीसा के बिल्कुल जंगल वाले एरियाज में भी, हर एक देश के कोने कोने में डिजिटल सर्विसेज वर्ल्ड क्लास पहुंचे, वो हमारा मिशन है, वो प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प है। उस संकल्प के लिए ये सारे रिफॉर्म्स हो रहे हैं। सिंप्लीफिकेशन करना ही है, तभी जाके सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन इन सब जगह तक पहुंच सकता है। चौथा रिफॉर्म है एमपीवीटी का। आप जानते हैं एमपीवीटी में फीस केवल 6,000 रुपये होती थी, लेकिन उस 6,000 रुपये की फीस के पीछे काम इतना पड़ता था, इतनी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी होती थी, बार बार घूमते जाओ, चक्कर लगाते जाओ। सो अगेन वी हैव रिमूव दैट फी, बट फीस तो 6,000 से तो कोई बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट नहीं होने वाला है, बट जो प्रोसेस में सिंप्लीफिकेशन हुआ है उससे आपको बहुत बड़ा बेनिफिट होगा। सो एमपीवीटी मैंडेटरी परफॉर्मेंस वेरिफिकेशन टेस्टिंग फॉर सैटेलाइट एंटीनास, उसको भी रिमूव कर दिया। सो दैट इज द फोर्थ रिफॉर्म। द फिफ्थ रिफॉर्म इज रिलेटेड टू नियर फील्ड कम्युनिकेशंस। ऑल दी जो पोर्टेबल चार्जर्स होते हैं, व्हीकल रिलेटेड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स हैं, जैसे कार खोलने वाली की, इसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडिया में तेजी से आ रही है। इसमें इंडिया में बहुत सारा इसके ऊपर रिसर्च भी हो रही है अभी, और खूब अच्छे नए नए सॉल्यूशंस भी निकल रहे हैं। कई स्टार्टअप्स हैं जिन्होंने इसमें खूब काम किया है। इसीलिए 3 बैंड्स हैं, उन तीनों बैंड्स को डी लाइसेंस कर दिया गया। आई विल शेयर दी इक्विपमेंट के लिए 433 to 434.79 megahertz एंड कॉन्टैक्टलेस इंडक्टिव चार्जिंग के लिए 9 किलोहर्ट्ज to 30 megahertz में अप टू अ लिमिट ऑफ पावर एंड अप टू अ लिमिट ऑफ डिस्टेंस टू विच चार्जिंग कैन हैपन, उसके लिए इन तीनों बैंड्स को कंप्लीटली डी लाइसेंस कर दिया गया। तो ये 5 प्रोसीजरल रिफॉर्म्स आपके सामने हैं। This is part of the series of reforms that the government is doing, and जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री जी ने क्लियर संकल्प दिया है कि दुनिया के देश हिंदुस्तान में आके सीखे कि भाई रेगुलेशन क्या होता है, हमारे लॉज को कॉपी करें, हमारे रेगुलेशंस को ग्लोबल बेंचमार्क बनाएं। ये सारा उसी प्रोसेस का पार्ट है। इसके बाद में आप सबके सामने प्रॉमिस किया हुआ है कि लाइसेंसिंग रिफॉर्म्स बड़ी मात्रा में होंगी, दैट विल बी अ बिग टिकट रिफॉर्म। उसको करने के लिए वी विल बी फर्स्ट फाइनलाइजिंग द टेलीकॉम बिल। एज यू आर अवेयर, वी आर ऑलरेडी गोइंग थ्रू द कंसल्टेशन प्रोसेस नाउ। अभी तक करीब सारी इंडस्ट्री बॉडीज आके अपने अपने व्यूज रख चुके हैं। कुछ बॉडीज ने थोड़ा और टाइम मांगा है फर्स्ट राउंड ऑफ डिस्कशन के बाद में, सो जरूरत पड़ी तो 10 दिन का और टाइम देंगे, बट नॉट बियॉन्ड दैट। माय रिक्वेस्ट इज आफ्टर 10th November, any industry body, any stakeholder, whatever views you have, please share before that time so that we can take it to the parliament at the earliest. You are aware that this book defines what frequency allocations are going to be. कौन सा बैंड किस पर्टिकुलर फंक्शन के लिए यूज में आएगा. This is in a sense a master document for entire radio planning, master document for spectrum auctions, master document for R&D organizations, master document for government policy making, master document for the ministry, apologies, for the industry participants. कि भाई किसी टेलको को प्लान करना है कि मेरा सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेशन किस तरफ जाएगा, टेरेस्ट्रियल कम्युनिकेशंस किस तरफ होने चाहिए, किस एरिया में मैं किस चीज़ का ध्यान रखूँ, कहाँ पे इंटरफेरेंस हो सकते हैं. So this is the master document. Sometimes things which are not highlighted, but they have such a profound importance. So we decided that we will place it before the industry and the country in a function so that all of us understand what is the importance of this document. Globally, the Red Book is what ITU and all international bodies, all big telcos, अपने ऑफिस में अगर 2 किताबें रहती है तो एक में रेड बुक रहती है. So this is the master document for entire telecom sector, rather anybody who uses any spectrum, whether broadcasting, whether defense, whether the marine sector, shipping sector, aviation sector, इन सब के लिए ये master document है. So this has been released today. Thanks to Honorable Minister Meenakashi ji. This is a very, very important event for all of us. And with this, I thank all of you for we are very 2,500 towers या BTS per week कर रहे हो. 5G का रोल आउट थोड़ा कम है. अभी इसको और बढ़ाइए, कम से कम 10,000 पर वीक पे आइए. टाइम आ गया है. आप लोगों को जितना रिफॉर्म्स चाहिए था सारे रिफॉर्म्स हम लोगों ने किए. जो आपको सिंप्लीफिकेशन चाहिए था प्रोसेस में वो सब किया है. एक और छोटा सा सिंप्लीफिकेशन, ये किसी भी स्ट्रीट फर्नीचर पे नाउ यू डोंट नीड सैटफा क्लियरेंस फॉर 5G एंटीना और स्ट्रीट फर्नीचर. You will not require any SACFA clearance. You can do it just with a 100 rupee payment on the Saral Sanchar portal, and it will be instantaneous. The permission will come instantaneously. जैसे बाकी permissions में on an average जो 227 दिन लगते थे, 227 days लगते थे, that has come down to 7 days. That same process will be followed in 5G permission. So हम लोग अपनी तरफ से, सरकार की तरफ से we are doing everything that is needed to be done. अब इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से आप लोग आगे बढ़ाइएगा और वीक में कम से कम 10,000 BTS को 5G के लिए एनेबल करेंगे. कोशिश नहीं. अब तो रिजल्ट टारगेट ओरिएंटेड जमाना है, मोदी जी का जमाना है. जो नहीं पहुंचे उनके ऊपर आप Thank you very much.
I also request all the guests to please collect their copies before we leave. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Now I feel very People are looking at India, people are looking at the regulatory mechanism we will come up with, and I'm very sure the regulatory mechanism of India, which will balance many actions, which will balance the need for regulation, which will balance the elasticity of regulation, which will also balance the interest of a common man, which will balance the protection of common man, but not to the extent. So there are nuanced methods which need to be adopted, and I'm very sure that under the leadership of Shri Vaishnaw ji as our telecommunication head, heading the ministry, it will be a fantastic job which India will produce, and India will take this message forward. जरूरत नहीं है, हम दिल्ली तो संभाल लीजिए. दिल्ली में लोगों को पानी पीने को नहीं मिलता, भ्रष्टाचार एक्साइज पॉलिसी में आप करते हैं, आप भ्रष्टाचार बच्चों की पढ़ाई में करते हैं, तो जो चरित्र आपका गिरा रहे हैं उससे तो बेहतर होगा कि आप पहले अपने चरित्र निर्माण पे ध्यान दें, तो बाकी राजनीति बाद में हो जाएगी.
India's soft power is being recognized today in all forums, and that is very important point.
What about satellite communication? Do you think that
Satellite communication has very special characteristics compared to terrestrial communications. That's why we have given a reference to TRI.
Yeah.
TRI is studying the entire global best practices. Once they come up with a recommendation, we will take the final call.
by when do you think that
Also the railways minister और बहुत सारे
की विशेष तैयारी की गई है. कुल मिला के अब तक 250 से अधिक 250 से अधिक ट्रेन चलाई जा चुकी है. अगर नंबर ऑफ बर्थ्स कैलकुलेट करो उसमें, तो मेरे ख्याल से करीब 1,40,000 के आसपास टोटल बर्थ्स अवेलेबल करवाई गई है. इसके अलावा भी जो ज़रूरत पड़ेगी करेंगे. सभी को छठ पूजा के अवसर पर अभिनंदन है, और जो भी इसके लिए और ज़रूरत पड़ेगी उसकी हम तैयारी करेंगे, केवल न केवल जाने के वक्त बल्कि आने के वक्त भी पूरी तैयारी.
सर आप आईटी मिनिस्टर
मैं चाहूँगा कि आईटी की स्टैंडिंग कमेटी, उनके चेयरपर्सन मिस्टर जाधव जी को भी, और ऑल दी ऑनरेबल एमपीज हु आर प्रिपेयर हु हैव टेकन दिस डिसीजन टू डिस्कस द बिल, ड्राफ्ट बिल, ये एक बहुत अच्छी परंपरा, एक नई परंपरा पड़ेगी. इससे क्या होगा कि जब ड्राफ्ट के स्टेज पे उसी टाइम में अगर अच्छा डिस्कशन हो गया, तो जो भी उसमें चेंजेस लाने हैं पार्लियामेंट में जाने से पहले सबके व्यूज़ उसमें इनकॉर्पोरेट हो सकेंगे. तो मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा स्टैंडिंग कमेटी को, मेंबर्स को, चेयरमैन को, और पार्लियामेंट में जो कोलैबोरेटिव स्पिरिट के साथ काम कर रहे हैं उसका ये अच्छा एग्जाम्पल.